I recently saw Evil Dead Rise in theater, so I figured now is the best time to rank this franchise. Let's get into it. Alright, y'all, so I'm going to be ranking the 5 movies in this Evil Dead franchise. I was debating on adding in the Ash vs. Evil Dead TV show, but I haven't seen it yet, and I figured why not just stick to the movies and I can get to that show eventually. So, I gotta start by saying every single movie in this franchise I think is good to great. I don't have problems with any of them, and I think this is one of the top-notch horror franchises we have. They haven't had a single miss yet. I put up there with Scream in that sense, and I was very, very excited for this new movie. But however, coming in at number 5, we have Evil Dead Rise. Like I said, every movie in this franchise is good. This was a good movie, and it was a fun time at the theaters. I got to see it a couple days after its first release, and the theater was like 80% packed. There was a good showing in there, and I was able to laugh and get scared with others in the theater. And I would just say it was a really fun time. It had one of the best cold openings of any horror franchise, any horror movie out there. And I really like how they came back to that cold opening at the end of the movie. That was cool to see. The movie was paced very well. I was never bored. I had fun the whole time throughout. It did meander a little bit before it got to the Book of the Dead and the Deadites, but once we got to that part, it was non-stop action and fun and scares, and I really enjoyed it. The only thing holding it back down to number 5 for me is I feel like every single movie in this Evil Dead franchise has its own personality to it, and this movie just seemed to be missing that personality. It didn't have that like flair, that Evil Dead flavor to it. I did like how it didn't take itself too seriously, but then again was missing that Evil Dead flavor. Coming in at number 4, we have Army of Darkness, and I have a physical copy to show off for every movie in this franchise besides Evil Dead Rise because that movie just came out. But then again, number 4, Army of Darkness. So this is a movie I really enjoy. It's the movie I quote the most in this franchise. It is a really good film, and I like how Sam Raimi kind of took the franchise from a horror franchise to a horror comedy to pretty much a straight comedy with this Army of Darkness film. I like the transition to olden days. It kind of felt like Monty Python meets Evil Dead. That was a lot of fun to me. But upon this recent rewatch, it did feel like the least entertaining, the least energetic of the original 3 movies. And that's why I have it down here at number 4. So coming at number 3, and this was actually a first watch for me recently, is 2013's Evil Dead by Fede Alvarez. And I never really want to check out this movie out of fear of, being a kind of remake, kind of sequel to the original trilogy. I was scared that they wouldn't be able to do it right, that they would, kind of tamper the original trilogy, kind of bring down the legacy of Evil Dead. But this movie pleasantly surprised me. I had a really good time with it. I enjoyed all the characters. Mia is maybe my second favorite character in this franchise behind Ash. She was fantastic. And I really like how they showed her off as this drug addict who is trying to come clean, and how people in the movie don't really believe that she's seeing the Evil Dead, these forces in the woods, because they think it's just the relapse or the drugs talking. And it's an interesting take for this franchise, and it gives its own fresh personality. And it seemed like the director actually had a story he wanted to tell, and that's why this movie got made. Alright, so coming at number 2, our runner-up, we have the original Evil Dead by Sam Raimi, which he made as a 21-year-old with his college friends. I have the really cool Steelbook edition for this one. So this movie on itself shouldn't even exist. It's amazing that a bunch of college kids, a bunch of friends, were able to go in the woods with practically no budget at all and make a movie as good as the original Evil Dead. It's scary. The practical effects, while they might not live up with that small budget, they are really cool and they are still fun to watch and to see on screen. I like how this one shoots for more of the horror aspect as we got in Evil Dead 2013. But then again, it is missing the Ash that we know and love today, that we have in Evil Dead 2 and we have in Army of Darkness. This is a very early on Ash who's scared of the Deadites, who hasn't really became his full evolved self, and that's why it's stuck at number 2 for me. But coming in at number 1, the quintessential Evil Dead movie, in my opinion, the number 1 Evil Dead movie is Evil Dead 2, or otherwise known by Dead by Dawn. So this is the film where we finally get to see Ash Williams in all his glory. We have Chainsaw Arm Ash, we have quirky Ash with the little one-liners like Groovy, and this movie is just a lot of fun. It takes everything that we loved from the first one and amps it up to 11, while also being really funny and really creative the whole runtime. I like how they kind of make it a sequel and a retelling of the first one at the same time, by showing the events of the first one in a little 5-minute clip, and then showing you the end of the first one where Ash is getting sent back through the door by the Evil Dead, and then he kind of comes back too, and you're reliving on from that moment. The new cast of characters, I don't think they're as good as the characters in the original one, but Ash himself elevates this movie to another level. And this is a great film. It's one that I will constantly go back to, one that I will constantly rewatch. And this is the movie that made me fall in love with the Evil Dead franchise. Alright everybody, that was my ranking, and I hope you enjoyed the video. A little side note here, my editor will be coming home from college. She just graduated. And so I will no longer be a one-man army on this side of the camera. I'm hoping to improve my channel immensely. Better backgrounds, better setup, better camera work. And I want to really grow my channel and just reach out and try different things. Try and really expand what we are doing. I have some really cool ideas that I want to come to fruition starting this summer. So yeah, keep on the lookout for that. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please leave a like down below and subscribe to my channel. It would really help me out greatly. And I want to keep putting out content that you guys will enjoy and that you guys will like. So if you have any ideas or anything you want to see me do, leave that in the comments below. Also, leave your ranking in the comment below. I'd like to talk to you about them. Evil Dead is one of my favorite franchises, and talking with you guys is just something I really like to do. So please leave a comment below. And thank you, and all of you have a great day.